Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. Yesterday, I asked you guys to sort of comment on how your meal plan is going thus far, how you feel about your nutrition as of right now, whether that's just since you started Beachbody or like in general or whatever. So I went through the people who did respond and I took a bunch of notes. And I have a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about, so I'm going to try to keep this concise, but I think that I know that nutrition is the most important part of your health. It's more important than your workouts. It's more important than literally anything else. The food that you eat becomes the cells of your body, and you are what you eat, and you can't out-train a bad diet. So I know when you guys sign up, like you get access to a lot of nutrition information and resources and all these plans and all these recipes and these food lists and like all this stuff, but it's not necessarily like super obvious how to get started, how to go about it. So I really love to do like a deep dive into the nutrition when I get a chance with my clients because it is so critical to your results with this and to your long-term success really with any fitness and health thing. So I wanted to I literally am like, I've got all of my nutrition information resources out and I've just been like pulling little bits from it all morning just to give you guys a general overview of like all the important stuff. So there's a few principles that Beachbody nutrition plans are based off of. And this is the first thing I want to say is that we don't follow a diet. Okay? This is not a diet. It's literally a lifestyle approach to nutrition. There's no cutting anything out. There's no like counting your calories. There's none of that. We don't demonize food. We don't do any of that stuff that all these other diet plans do. It's literally just learning how to eat properly. So some of the really important foundational elements of Beachbody nutrition. Number one, eat enough protein and eat the right kinds of proteins. So you should be getting about 20 grams of protein per meal, like 5 to 6 times a day. And that's a general thing. Obviously, that changes depending on your weight, like how big of a human being you are, and your activity level and stuff. But generally speaking, getting enough protein and the right types of healthy, lean proteins is super, super critical to your overall results. Another one of our important elements is getting plenty of fiber in your diet. So there's some statistic that like over half of Americans or like 3/4 of Americans are not getting enough fiber in their daily food intake. And that is no surprise because you get fiber from things like vegetables, and lots of people don't like to eat enough vegetables, and processed junky food has literally no fiber in it. Fiber is absolutely vital to your health. So getting a lot of fiber in your diet not only helps you lose weight and feel full, but it's important for so many other reasons. So eating your veggies is so important, you guys. Also, a third foundational element, your energy sources need to be the right types of energy sources. Things like high fiber carbohydrates, like fruit. That's why all of our meal plans tell you to eat fruit every day. And targeted vitamins and nutrients, aka your Shakeology. So this is getting your energy from places like Shakeology and fruit and other carbs like complex carbs like brown rice and quinoa, rather than getting your energy from sugary processed things and like dousing yourself in caffeine all day long. Very important as well. Also staying hydrated. Hydration, hydration, hydration. You should be drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, divide that in half, 75. You should be getting at least 75 ounces of water a day. Hydration is like the starting point of everything. If you're not getting enough water, forget about everything else and start there and just start drinking more water. Superfoods. You should be leading with these superfoods, you guys. Shakeology is such an important element of what we do for this reason, because almost every person in America has a nutritionally dumbed down diet, unfortunately. Even when you're, eating plenty of produce and getting your fruits and veggies at the grocery store and everything, in the world we live in today, those things are not as nutrient dense as we would hope that they would be for many reasons. Everything from soil quality to just farming practices, everything. So getting that dense dose of like nutrients every single day through superfood supplementation is huge. Also making sure that you incorporate healthy fats into your diet. And I'll get more into this, but healthy fats are really important for keeping you feeling full in a healthy way because their caloric density is twice that of proteins and carbohydrates. So healthy fats are really, really important. Things like olive oil, avocado, certain nuts and seeds, those are critical to your diet as well. Okay, so those are just sort of some of the general things that you should have in your brain. But then I wanted to go through a bunch of other things as well. So you guys know about Shakeology, obviously. That's like our main supplement that we have available to you. But in case you guys don't know about the other things that you have available, I wanted to make you aware. So the Beachbody Performance line, these are things to help you with your workout performance. So we've got Energize, which you take before. It's a pre-workout supplement. Hydrate, you drink during your workout. It's like electrolytes to keep you hydrated throughout your workout. Recover and Recharge are basically both the same thing. They're like a slow release BCAA-based protein for muscle recovery and synthesis. And then creatine is for like getting swole. So if those things sort of start to become important to you longer into your fitness journey. Like I didn't start using Energize and Recover until I had been working out for like 6 months. And I was like, all right, I'm in this for the long haul. And if I want to perform like an athlete, I have to supplement my lifestyle like an athlete to really get those results that I want. And it works. I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. But we also have these boosts. There's the Focused Energy Boost, the Power Greens Boost, and the Digestive Health Boost. So if you're a person who, you specifically struggle with digestion, or you specifically struggle with having enough energy throughout the day, or like enough clarity, like if you experience a lot of brain fog and things like that, we have these boosts here that you can also order. So those things are amazing. I use the greens and the Focused Energy every day. Beach bars are really good. Healthy snack that's high in protein and low in carbohydrates. If you get like a hankering in your day and you don't want to eat a piece of chocolate cake. The collagen boost is something I started using recently, and it's my nails and my skin and my hair are like, well, my nails are, my skin's not doing that obviously, but my skin does look rather nice and supple and glowy. So I wanted to make you guys aware of those things because we have so many good products that you can and should be utilizing on this journey. Okay. Next thing, the calorie recommender. So, no, we do not count calories. However, depending on your goal right now with your fitness and your activity level, you're going to fall into a calorie range. So say your goal is to lose weight and your activity level is intermediate. Let's just use that as an example. You're going to go into your Beachbody Guide to Nutrition. You'll see here, it's broken down by what your goal is and your activity level and your current weight. So if you want to lose weight and right now you weigh, let's say 170 and you're doing intermediate activity, you're going to go over here and see that you should be consuming about 1,800 calories a day. So that is just a general, let's say, goal range that you should be falling into. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, that's all well and good, but I don't know how to figure out what that means. This is where the containers come into play. So I don't have all of them with me right now, but this is just a few of them so you guys can like get a visual representation of what they are. So these containers used to come with all of the challenge packs, and unfortunately they don't come with all the challenge packs anymore. They only come with, I believe, 21-day fix. So unless you purchased the 21-day fix challenge pack, you didn't get these containers when you signed up. However, the good news is they're available on Amazon for like $7, and the ones on Amazon, yes, it is like what's the word? They like copied Beachbody, and it's a total copyright infringement, and it's bad that they did it. But they are on there for cheaper than what Beachbody sells them for. So go on and snag yourself a set. And they even come with the same like guidebook that Autumn created for this whole system. So you can get it for super cheap and you can follow the plan the same way that Beachbody intended you to. So when you get these containers, and this is where the calorie thing starts to make more sense. There's these plans, right? There's plans A through F, or E rather. And once you know that calorie range, so you found 1800 calorie range over here. So you would come over here, and if you're a man or a woman, you'll find 1800, which is gonna put you right here. So you should be eating at plan C. So then you no longer have to worry about what like 1800 calories means, because you know you're supposed to be eating plan C, which means 5 servings of veggies a day, 3 servings of fruit, 5 servings of protein, 4 servings of carbs, 1 serving of healthy fat, 1 serving of seeds and dressings, and 5 teaspoons of oils and nut butters. So now you have it makes a little bit more sense what 1800 calories means. And especially when you have these containers, now you can look at this and say, okay, I have to fill this up 5 times a day with veggies. And if you're thinking to yourself, how the hell am I going to do that? Then you go to the trusty dusty Beachbody food lists. So right here, you're going to see all of the different foods that fall under the categories of the containers. And all of these things, these food lists, the recipes, the container information, it's all on Beachbody On Demand under the nutrition tab. You just have to go on there and actually utilize the resources that are available to you. And I know it's not always like super obvious in the beginning, like how you're supposed to use all this. That's why I'm making this video, to explain everything. So for me, for example, I followed plan A in the beginning when I first started. I'm going to close my blinds because it's super bright. I used to follow plan A, you guys. That was when I was just starting to work out. I thought that my goal was to lose weight. Like, I was just in that headspace. Plan A was not enough food for your girl, not even close. So I bumped it up to plan B as I started like working out every day, and I was feeling good, and I was like getting hungry because I was working out every day. So plan B worked for a while. Then I had to bump it up again because I started really sending it with my workouts and like going from beginner to sort of more intermediate advanced. So please don't be afraid of eating. The muscles that you're building are made out of the food that you're eating. So you have to eat food to see results. You're not going to starve yourself and get the body of your dreams. Like the girls you see on Instagram with the bodies that you're like, what? Those girls eat. I promise you, they eat. They also exercise a shit ton. They exercise every single day. But if you're doing the workouts with Beachbody, you're exercising pretty much every day. So you have to feed your body. So at this point, I follow plan C. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like for me. Every week when I'm making like my grocery list, I know the amounts of things that I'm supposed to have. I'm supposed to have 5 servings of protein. So I literally write protein, protein, protein. I'm just going to start writing P. Protein, protein. And then I know I'm supposed to have 5 servings of veggies. So I write veggie, 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 veggie. And I do this whole list down, 4 servings of carbs, 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 carbs. And I do it like this. You can see right here. And then I go through and I decide what I'm going to have for the week in those different categories. So for protein, one of them is always Shakeology. So I'll write Shake-O, even though I'm not buying that at the grocery store because I already have it. I just write it as a visual representation of what my meals are going to look like. Another protein that I pretty much always do is eggs. So I write eggs. Say I was going to do like, I don't know, veggie burgers. I'll write veggie burgers. And I've been doing this for over a year, you guys. So I like know from the food lists what I like to eat in each category. And this takes some time. It takes some learning, especially if like macros are new to you. It might not be that obvious what falls in every category. So make sure you're referencing the food lists. Another protein, let's just say I get salmon for dinner. And then let's say Greek yogurt if I wanted to do like a parfait or something as a snack. Greek yogurt. So now I know that those are like my proteins for the week. And then I don't have the protein container with me. It's the red one, but it's slightly bigger than the carbohydrate one. So I know that I have to fill up my little red container with these 5 things for my meals for the week. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense because it's so simple when you start doing it this way. And then for veggies, say, now I look at my proteins and I'm like, what veggies would go well with those proteins in those meals? So with my Shaco, I always put a veggie in the blender. So I like to do spinach usually, so I'll write spinach. And then I'll go down to my next protein. Okay, eggs. What veggie would be good with my eggs? Let's say I'll do peppers and mushrooms, like sauteed with my eggs in the morning. And then my next one, salmon. What would be a good veggie with my salmon for dinner? Let's say asparagus. So I know I'll do asparagus at dinner. Do you guys see how easy this is when you're doing it this way? And then I'll go down to my carbs and I'll be like, okay, with my eggs in the morning, I'm going to do an English muffin. And then with my salmon, I'm going to do brown rice. And like I said, I've become so aware of what all of these things are because I've familiarized myself so much with these food lists over the last year. So that's literally how I plan out my stuff. And then my meals are planned because I know what I'm eating with what. My macros are perfectly balanced. I'm getting 40% carbs, 30% protein, and 30% healthy fats because that's what these meal plans are based around. And then when I go to actually make the meals and prep them for the week, I use the containers. So there's the portion control. Boom, done. It's so freaking easy. So if you don't have the containers, if they didn't come with your challenge pack, please order them. Please order them and start using them because they will make your life so much easier. You won't look at this nutrition thing as like a daunting thing anymore. And you'll actually get the results that you're after. So, what did I want to talk about next? Okay, if you start following the meal plan and you feel as though it's too little food, give it about a week. See how you feel. If you don't have any energy, if you can't sleep at night, if you can't focus and you're like having brain fog, then that means you're not eating enough food. So definitely bump it up a level. Listen to your body. Like if you're at plan A, go up to plan B. Try that out for a week. Your body is getting used to new things, right? Like some people give up on Shakeology after a week because it hurts their stomach. And it's like, yeah, because it's extremely dense nutrition and you've probably been living off of like potato chips, you know? So you have to give your body a chance to get used to these things. And if it's something that's drastically different from what you've been doing, of course, there's going to be a time period where it feels strange. If it feels like your plan is too much food, this is also super, super common. And that's because the foods that you're eating on this plan are high in fiber and they're filling. And you're probably used to eating food that is nutritionally lower, but higher in calories. So for an example, like a slice, if you have like 4 slices of pizza or something, like that's so high in calories, but so low in nutritional value that could keep you full for like 6 or 7 hours, right? So you're probably used to eating less food, but that has more calories in it. So you're not eating as often. So then you start doing the Beachbody nutrition plan and it's like, I'm supposed to eat 5 servings of this a day, just of veggies, and then like 4 servings of this a day in carbs. And you're like, that's way too much food. But it's because the foods that you're eating have gone from being high in calories and low in nutrition to high in nutrition and low in calories. And that's like the complete opposite of what you're probably used to. So once again, you have to give yourself time to get used to eating in this new way. I literally eat all day long. Like I eat every 2 hours and sometimes 2 hours is too long in between my meals. But that's because I'm eating super healthy, clean foods and they don't fill you up and make you feel like, oh, I'm gonna die. Because that's what shitty food does. In terms of eating and working out, I would say either work out on an empty stomach or like after just having Energize, or eat a really small carb-based snack before your workout. So like an English muffin or like a piece of toast or a piece of fruit. Don't try to eat a super heavy protein and like fat meal before you work out. It's just not, your body is not going to perform the way that you want it to. So like I explained before, the container system is based off the idea that you should be getting 40% carbohydrates in your diet, 30% healthy protein, and 30% healthy fat. So people get confused. They see this is the carbohydrate one and it's like really little. And they're like, I don't get it. I'm only supposed to have 3 of those of carbs a day, but you're telling me that my diet is 40% carbohydrates. It's like, yeah, because you're also having all these veggies and all of these fruits in the day. And those things are also have carbohydrates in them. So don't think that this is like all the carbs that you're getting. Like this is all you're going to get of like bread or pasta or rice or those types of carbs, but there's also lots of carbs to be found in all your fruits and veggies. Another really important thing to realize is that you're going to start eating whole foods, real food, food in its true form, like not processed, packaged food products. Like those things are not food. Those things were once food, and then all this stuff was done to them, and now they're a food product. So those are the things that we're trying to get away from and replacing those with food in its whole form, because food in its whole form is the healthiest way to eat. Why portion control? Why do we do this? First of all, energy levels. If you're eating humongous meals, your energy is going to be going like this all day long. Peaks and valleys, because your blood sugar is going to be like super, super high and then super, super low. So portion control and eating throughout the day in smaller amounts is the best way to optimize your energy levels. Also, eating smaller meals in like a controlled portion sense gives you the ability to actually absorb the nutrients that your body is taking in. Because if you're like gouging yourself, your body's going to have an extremely hard time absorbing the nutrients and digesting in a healthy way. That's why we follow portion control. I wanted to debunk a few myths also, because these are things that I hear people say that just aren't true. So number one, a plant-based diet does not necessarily equal a healthy diet. You can eat plant-based and be super, super healthy for sure. But there's this idea that people have that just because you eat plant-based, you're healthy, you're fine, you're good. Guys, a lot of people I know who follow a plant-based diet are extremely unhealthy individuals. Why? Because they're not educated on macronutrient balance. And if you are eating plant-based, it's actually much more challenging to hit your macros in a quote unquote healthy way. Like to get all the protein that you need, to get all the healthy fat that you need is not as easy on a plant-based diet. It's totally doable and you can do it, but you have to be very aware and very mindful of how you're eating, because you can be plant-based and literally live off of fruit and potatoes, and that is not healthy. Okay? So I just wanted to debunk that myth. Just because you're eating plant-based does not mean that you're like the healthiest gal in all the land. Another myth, if I eat more, I'll get fat. No, you literally have to eat, okay? If you're working out every single day, which you are with Beachbody, you're working out every day or at least most days besides your rest days, your muscles that you're trying to build are going to be built out of food. You have to feed your muscles in order to get that physique you're after. Look like an athlete, feel like an athlete, perform like an athlete. Athletes eat food. Starving yourself is not the answer. Another myth, carbs are bad. There has never been a less true thing. Carbohydrates are, I would argue, probably the most important macronutrient that you're going to eat, and that's why 40% of your food that you eat every day should be carbs. Any diet that tells you that carbs are bad, I would just run away from as fast as you can. Carbohydrates are responsible for so much that goes on in your body. Not to mention the glucose in your brain. Like for your brain to actually work, you need glucose, which comes from carbohydrates. Carbs are not bad. Carbs do not make you fat. Carbs are not the devil. You gotta eat them. And then intermittent fasting is another thing that I get a lot of questions about, and this is what I have to say about it. It works for some people, it doesn't work for other people, and it depends on your natural just self and your state. Some people are fast burners, some people are slow burners, some people have a fast metabolism, slow metabolism. Some people require different things, so bioindividuality plays a big role here, and you have to just like know what works for you. For me, I do eat my first meal later in the day. So I usually don't eat until like 11 a.m. or something like that. Sometimes I'll have my shake before that. But my first like real meal where I'm chewing things and like eating solid food is usually later on in the day, because that's just what works for me. And I also don't like to eat late at night. So I do, in a sense, follow intermittent fasting, because I go through like a large chunk, like 12 hours or something like that without eating, but that's what works for me. Some people need to eat as soon as they wake up, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So just figure out what works for you. This was a lot of information. I did not mean to talk for 25 minutes, and I literally always do that. I'm like, I'm only going to talk for 7 minutes, but hopefully this was a lot of good information for you guys. I know the nutrition stuff is the hardest part, but it is the most important part. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Dig into these resources. I have them in these forms because I've just been like buying 1 bajillion Beachbody things for the last like year of my life, and I get all this stuff to me in physical form, but it's also all on Beachbody On Demand. There's an entire nutrition tab with every workout program. Under program materials, there's a nutrition section, and it's literally all these things in PDF format. So if you want to learn about the containers, go into the 21 Day Fix or 21 Day Fix Extreme tabs in Beachbody On Demand, program materials, nutrition. It will literally explain all of this to you. You have to be a self-starter. You have to be willing to learn, but it's worth it. And that's how you're going to get the results that you're truly after with this. And that's what's going to make you stay for the long term and keep going, because you're going to feel so, so good when you start to reach your goals. If you want to lose weight, you're going to lose weight. If you want to maintain your weight and just get like super healthy, you can do that. If you want to build muscle and get like shredded and cut, like, guys, you can do it all with these plans, but you have to educate yourself and then actually follow through on it. Okay? That's it. I am going to stop talking now, but I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and please comment below with any questions that you have, and I will talk to you guys all soon. All right, goodbye.